Let's see if they sit down. Welcome to the Troy Historic Village. That's your cue to take a seat. Thank you to the Troy Metro Symphony Orchestra's brass quintet. Give them a round of applause, please. What a great way to start this year's State of the City address. I'm Jen Peters, the Executive Director of the Troy Historic Village, and it is our honor and pleasure to host you tonight. I've been to a few of these addresses, so I know that Mayor Baker likes to do some shout-outs, and I'm going to beat him to a few of those. I want to thank our amazing village staff, our board of trustees, and our crew of volunteers, who all contribute to making the village an outstanding field trip destination, a thought-provoking place to visit, and a fantastic place to work. I really do love working here. In fact, I commute from Flint every day because I love all of the great things that we do. I want to take a second to also thank my husband and family for supporting this work, especially since they get volunteered for lots of events, and they're pretty good sports about it. And finally, I want to thank the hardworking city staff who are busy this week sprucing up the grounds. They're also here whenever something springs a leak, a furnace fails to fire up, or an air conditioner conks out. Now, some of you might be saying, wait, how do I get the city to fix my AC? The shorter answer is you can't. The city staff help take care of this place because the village is owned by the city of Troy and operated by the Troy Historical Society. It's a model of collaboration developed out of necessity and creativity following the 2008 Great Recession. But that collaboration goes back much further than 2008. And yes, this is where you're going to get a history lesson. Back in 1927, when the people of Troy Township built the brick building behind you, they included a room that incorporated beams from historic buildings. They also put artifacts from early pioneers on display. They knew and valued the importance of telling those stories. When the township became a city in 1955, and then outgrew that building in 1966, they designated the Troy Museum, and they allowed the newly established Troy Historical Society to meet there from time to time. At a time when growth was happening all around the city, the Historical Society took on their first big project, saving the 1832 Caswell House, that white farmhouse with the green shutters behind me. The Historical Society raised the money to save the building, but they needed a place to put it. And they collaborated with the city to make this space its new home. When the bicentennial came along in 1976, communities across the country were encouraged to take on meaningful projects and find ways to tell the American story. In this community, the Historical Society collaborated with the city and raised the funds to save and move Poppleton School, the orange brick one-room schoolhouse behind me. And with those two buildings, the village was born. We saved buildings or rebuilt them in order to tell the story of this community. And I love that one of the many stories that we tell is this story of collaboration. The city operated the village for years with the Historical Society acting as sort of a friends of group that raised funds and offered support to the work here. But like I said, that all changed in 2008. At that time, communities across America were facing financial hardships, and the city considered closing all of these buildings. But the Historical Society had a vision and worked with the city to create an operating agreement, which is how we work together today. The city maintains the grounds and the envelope of the buildings. They fix the AC. They keep the roofs from leaking. The city also provides annual operational support dollars that enable us to be open for visitors and preserve our artifacts. But 2008 wasn't the only hardship we faced. Back in 2020, when we all closed for the safety of our community, the city stepped in with $50,000 in emergency funds. That kept us going until other grants and support became available. We were able to keep staff employed and create safe small group programs. And when schools were ready to come back on field trips, we were ready for them. I mentioned that the city provides some operating dollars to be open, but that's only a fraction of what we actually do here at the Village. From that foundational support, it's the Troy Historical Society and the employees of the Troy Historic Village that bring this place to life. We bring it to life through field trips for over 12,000 students, teachers, and chaperones each year. Last year, that included not just Troy schools, but 110 public and private schools from 5 different counties. We bring it to life for even more visitors with history talks, historic preservation programs, and tours. We bring it to life with programs like old-time radio shows, blacksmithing and watercolor classes, and Victorian Christmas. And we bring it to life with community programs like Trick or Treat, Cocoa and Crafts with Santa, and the Spring Egg Hunt. And yes, we can even have your wedding, your next party, or your next corporate event with us. And that's all possible through collaboration and community. That idea that we can build something better together. After the State of the City tonight, you're invited to stick around and see just a little of what we do. We have folks scattered throughout the buildings, newly acquired artifacts in the general store, and even a blacksmithing class in action. You can smell it right now. But I invite you to come back. Come back to learn in a program with us. Come back and share your stories of Troy with us. Come back and take a class with us. Come back and volunteer with us. I hope you come back to collaborate with us, and I hope you come back to build community with us. Thank you. And now please stand as our Troy Police Department Honor Guard will present the colors. And now I'd like to invite Troy Athens High School student Quinn Van Amberg, who will sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land
think you might be seated. Would you join me in prayer as you are comfortable and what is appropriate for you? Holy One, we gather this evening in the midst of one of the city's treasures to celebrate the blessings that our community enjoys. We receive these blessings as members of a diverse and vibrant community, and so it is with a sense of gratitude, hope, and concern about what the future might hold that we gather to hear a word from the mayor concerning the state of our city. Whether we have lived in Troy our entire lives or recently moved into the community, each of us contributes to the common good of our community as we bring to the table our different life experiences, backgrounds, skills, as well as our different hopes and dreams. And we do this because each of us loves this city and wants what is best for the entire community. When we gather at a moment like this, we often hear reminders of what has been accomplished in the past, along with the possibilities for the future. We know that change can be difficult. We know that sometimes moving forward will cost us something. This is not the same city it was 70 years ago when Troy was officially incorporated. It's not the same city it was 10 years ago. And it won't be the same city a decade from now. So may we treasure what has been while being open to what will be in the future. And with that in mind, Lord God, we ask that you give wisdom to our leaders, including the mayor, city council, city manager, city staff, police, fire departments, together with teachers and staff of our schools, and all who contribute to the life of the city. We pray for the residents of this community that we would be open to necessary changes so we can continue to be this diverse and vibrant community that values the many benefits that come to us as a community, ranging from its schools to its library, from its recreation opportunities to its dedicated first responders. We recognize that these are challenging times marked by political, social, cultural, and religious polarization. So we ask that your wisdom and grace be with each of us as we navigate these realities. We pray that we might be endowed with the ability to listen to each other and recognize in each other our common humanity, which binds us together even in our diversity. And therefore may we be known as a welcoming and hospitable community where everyone matters, from the youngest to the oldest. As we hear this word from our city, our mayor of our city, may we do so with grateful hearts, offering our prayers and reflections that emerge out of our diverse faith communities and life experiences. And asking for your blessing in this moment, help us take to heart the word that prophet Jeremiah, who bid a community of exiles to seek the welfare of the city where I have sent you, and pray to the Lord on his behalf, for in his welfare you will find your welfare. Amen.
Thank you, Bob, for today's lovely invocation. Hello, everyone. I'm Tara Thompson-Cusack, President and CEO of the Troy Chamber of Commerce, and I'm honored to join you all here today for the City of Troy's 2025 State of the City Address. During today's address, please feel free to take pictures, and if you would like to share them on social media, make sure you use the hashtag TroySOTC25. I messed that up last year like 3 times, so I'm really proud of that. So, today's event could not have happened without the support of so many individuals. I would first like to take a moment and thank Jen Peters with the Troy Historic Village for being our host today. In addition, thank you to the incredible Cindy Stewart. We all know how hard she works. And to the Troy Department of Public Works for their hard work in making sure today was absolutely perfect. I'd also like to thank all of our technical support partners today: CMN TV, Advanced Lighting and Sound, Premier Creative Group, and Mad Power. I'd like to extend a special thanks to Flagstar Bank along with Smart for hosting our chamber members earlier this afternoon at Firebird Tavern for our pre-reception VIP party. And finally, to Walsh College for allowing us to use their parking lots today, along with Troy Ride and Right Choice Transportation Services for providing today's transportation. And while some of us attended the Chamber's pre-reception, we would like to invite you all to the Afterglow immediately following today's State of the City address, located at the Niles Barnard House, right over there, so the White House right there. And here you can grab a drink, thanks to Sit Down at Tap House, and enjoy some delicious appetizers, thanks to Fogo de Chão. Join us immediately following today's address, and remember, all are welcome. And there's still plenty of time after the event to enjoy the great things that Troy Historic Village has to offer. If you have not yet walked through the grounds, please take a moment to explore before heading to the Afterglow. And don't forget to head over to the blacksmith right over there. And you can brand your very own commemorative 70th anniversary wooden coaster. So now, after all of those housekeeping notes are completed, I'd like to welcome you all to this year's State of the City address. This year, the City of Troy will be celebrating its 70th anniversary, and I can't think of a better place to celebrate this history than here at the beautiful Troy Historic Village. We thought we could have you take a step back in time as we hear about the past, present, and a little bit more about our future. As president of the Troy Chamber of Commerce, I have the privilege to lead one of the most energetic, engaged, and slightly over-caffeinated chamber in the state. It's true, and we know that. We serve a diverse range of business industries and nonprofit organizations while being recognized as one of the powerful voices for our business community. With over 90 events a year, we are always extremely busy, but our focus is always clear: building connections and creating opportunities for growth. We are always searching to find new ways to engage our business community and meet people where they are, which is one of the reasons we just launched a Troy Chamber of Commerce app. So now you can search for your local Troy businesses, register for an event, or even have access to great discounts all at the palm of your hand. So make sure before you leave, you download the Troy Chamber app and help support our local business community. While this innovation is completely amazing and exciting, what truly sets the Chamber apart is our outstanding team: Sheila, Evan, Bella, and our newest member, Amalia. Their dedication and talent inspire our members, and I am the luckiest person to work with them every single day. I'd also like to extend a heartfelt thank you to everyone joining us today, including some of our board of directors and our amazing chamber members. Your continued support is what keeps Troy moving forward. Our business community does more than contribute to the local economy. It helps define the spirit of our city. Through job creation, innovation, leadership, you make Troy a thriving community that we are all proud of. And finally, to our city officials, public servants, business leaders, and partners, thank you so much. Your work is essential, and your commitment keeps Troy moving forward. Let's give them a round of applause. I like that you guys were nervous to clap for yourself in that moment, which was very cute. It is hard to believe it's been over 6 years working alongside Mayor Baker. If I'm honest, it feels so much longer. It does, yeah. But not in a bad way. It rather comes from having so much time together and so much that we've been through. A pandemic, hundreds of ribbon cuttings, new developments, and achievements that far exceed what one might expect from a typical work week. Ethan Baker's commitment to public service isn't something you just hear about. It's something I am lucky to witness daily. Whether it's responding to a resident in need or showing up to support one of our local businesses, the dedication never wavers. And after a half-decade of working side by side, Ethan and the entire Baker family have become much more than colleagues. They've become treasured friends. He's like the brother I didn't ask for or expect, but I was able to also get an extended family that I adore. So I love you guys. There is no one I'd rather work with to help move this city forward. And the greatest part of all, I know the best is yet to come. I believe this is our 5th State of the City address together, so why don't we stick to this history theme and maybe take a peek at the monitors to see some of our previous State of the City addresses.
While we are always cautious and conservative in our approach, the state of our city is without a doubt strong. All of the relationships we've built and we continue to foster, all of the people who form the fabric of our community. I say again this year, without an absolute doubt, the state of our city is very, very strong. Well, so let me say this right here. Friends, the state of our city is optimistic, and yes, of course, the state of our city is very, very strong. It is very, very easy for me to say, once again, that the state of our city is strong. I'm glad for that.
As you can see the strength of our community, I'm sure we're all very curious to hear what will he be saying next, but without further ado, it is my privilege to introduce my friend, the Honorable Mayor, Ethan Baker.
Hey, everybody. Wow. Whew. Well, thank you, Tara, for your always warm and always enthusiastic introductions. Each year we partner at this event with the Troy Chamber, and this is our 5th State of the City collaboration. And it seems that you, Cindy, and I understand the process and the rhythm at this point. And let me tell you, it is definitely a process. For whatever reason, I have heard from you, Tara, many times this year, something along the lines of, don't stress, you always feel like this at this point. So here I am. I'm expecting to say it again, but it is strangely calming, and I really do appreciate your continued dedication to the city and this event, and of course all you do here with the Chamber and the City of Troy. I view you and the entire Troy Chamber team as an important arm of the city, and I know you always put Troy's best interests out front. Many of you are here tonight because of your relationship with the Troy Chamber. Chamber board members and valued members, ambassadors, you all know the level of service and care you get with our Troy Chamber, what I frequently call the best chamber in Metro Detroit, if not the entire state. I've said it many, many times. The city's partnership with the Troy Chamber of Commerce is something that I'm extremely proud of, and you and your team go above and beyond for Troy's business community, and we as an entire city are grateful. And you would be the first to say it is not just you, but the entire Troy team, Troy Chamber team. So Sheila, Evan, Bella, and their newest addition, Amalia, please stand up so we can all applaud you and thank you for what you do for our city. Bella's clearly not here, but we applaud her anyway when she watches later. I want to wholeheartedly thank Jen Peters, who started off this event tonight with a great history lesson. In fact, because of Jen's good work sharing the background of this beautiful and historical place, the good news is my speech will be a little bit shorter tonight. Wait a minute, you're not supposed to clap yet. So Jen, the 200 people right here, they thank you very much. Now, there you go, yeah. Now, in all honesty, I'm beyond grateful for the collaboration between the city and the village, and that you spoke so perfectly about it. The Troy Historic Village is one of Troy's many, many gems, and I've seen firsthand, Jen, your leadership and dedication to the village and to the city of Troy's history. Admittedly, choosing this location for the state of the city came a little bit later than usual this year. But as we approach the city's 70th birthday, have some honest conversations about our city buildings and infrastructure, and look towards Troy's future, this truly is the perfect place to host tonight's event. And I just want to say, and the weather couldn't be better. For those of you that suffered through last year's heat, we've got some cool weather here. I'm appreciative of that. Also, for those of you like me who are checking the weather app obsessively the past couple days looking for rain, I'm so thankful for this because I love Walsh College, but it wouldn't have been the same inside Walsh tonight. So we're thankful to be here at the Village. But Jen, thank you, and the entire Troy Historical Society, board members, and the Village team members. We really do appreciate you. You saw that this evening's colors were presented by our Troy Police Department Honor Guard. Their continued reverence in what they do certainly has added an important touch to this evening, and we thank all of you. I'm also so thankful that Athens sophomore Quinn Van Amberg agreed to sing our national anthem this evening. Thank you, Quinn. You absolutely nailed it, and you have made your school, your city, and your country proud. Our police chaplain, Pastor Bob Cornwall, always seems to know just the right thing to say during an invocation, and actually at most times. And we thank and applaud you, Bob, for your genuine and warm care for our city. We are so fortunate to have your service to us tonight and always. I'm a bit of a sucker for orchestral music and the beautiful sounds being played by the Troy Metro Symphony's Orchestra's brass quintet while you arrived were even better than I envisioned. So I thank all of you, and really, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful music with us. It's really a gift, and we're so thankful. They will be also playing during the Afterglow as well, so I'm looking forward to hearing some more. I want to also thank a special thanks to Hemant Tadapalli for his role in getting the quintet to come here. So thank you, Hemant. I see you back there. As Jen mentioned in her remarks, I do love shout-outs, and there will be more throughout this evening. But for now, let's get started with the State of Our City 2025.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
I don't know why it makes me laugh that Lori's name comes up when the beer is out, but something about that got me. I don't know what it is, Lori. That one got me every time. But where everybody knows your name. I can actually imagine if this village were an actual village, that everyone around the screen would know each other. A Troy where everybody knows your name. We've certainly grown a lot in the 200+ years since we've been settled here. But I believe in many ways, Troy still is a place where everybody knows your name. We're a tight-knit community, and one where people feel safe and at peace. And we may not have one watering hole where the locals congregate, but there are places throughout our city where our residents go to meet up and feel part of our welcoming community. As I look out, I know everyone here, for the most part, but that may not be the case for all of you. I hope that sometime this evening you will make the effort to introduce yourself to someone you do not know. I bet some of you have already done it. There are some pro networkers here. But if not, please take the opportunity to do it during the Afterglow. It will help keep Troy a place where everybody knows your name. I do want to thank Chris and his team at CMN TV for that intro video. I love watching his creativity come alive each year when I have a wild idea about the State of the City introduction. Every year he does go above and beyond, and I truly am grateful. So thank you, Chris. He's back in the production truck now, hiding, but let's give him a big applause. Now is also a good time to thank London Baker, no relation, who is working with me for the next few weeks as part of his Senior May project, shadowing me and honing his already developed skills as a young leader. London has been instrumental in creating some of the images you will see on the screen throughout this evening, so thank you, London. Our entire Troy City Council is here tonight. Mayor Pro Tem Mark Gunn, Councilwoman Teresa Brooks, Councilman Harak Chanda, Councilwoman Rebecca Chamberlain-Kranga, Councilman David Hamilton, and Councilwoman Ellen Hoderick. Please stand up and say a group hello. Tonight, I plan to introduce the individual members of council a little differently than in the past. In previous years, I've introduced them individually, one after another, but as is the nature of the State of the City address, those introductions are always in my voice, and certainly to an extent represent my views and opinions of them. I thought tonight it would be interesting to have and fun to have another council member introduce one of their colleagues. So throughout this evening's address, there will be small breaks from my voice so that one of my colleagues can introduce another one of our colleagues. I asked each council member to provide me with photos that will be used during those introductions. Each of them included something with his or her family. And as I reviewed each picture, I felt a connection to each of them. It really was touching. It was a reminder to me of why each of us are doing this. And as we talk about family, it might be a perfect time and an opportunity to introduce my family, who my son just made it. Nice work, Kanan. Most of you know Bethany, our First Lady of Troy, and the absolute love of my life. She knows me better than anyone else, and as the years of our relationship and marriage add up, I see more and more how she puts everyone else first. So our city loves you, honey, and I certainly do too. Each year, I feel like I need to reintroduce our kids because they grow and mature so much. Arden is now our 18-year-old creative, smart, beautiful, kind, and talented daughter. Kanan is our 16-year-old handsome, kind, smart, athletic, and loving son. And on time, so he's all right. And Avon is our 13-year-old talented, charming, intelligent, giving, and fun-loving daughter. Next line is, kiddos, please stand up so we can all say hello. But I love you. Mommy and I love you so much. You mean everything to us. Thank you. I also, it may not be conventional, but I want to just take a second to acknowledge Isaac Wagner, who's Arden's boyfriend and is here with us tonight. We love Isaac and are so fortunate he jumps into Baker Family Fun as often as he does. I'm not sure this counts as Baker Family Fun, but you'll see by the end of the night. Since last year's State of the City address, we have enthusiastically appointed Frank Nastasi as our city manager. Frank moved into this role after having served as our police chief and after many, many years as a valuable member of our Troy Police Department. Frank hit the ground running and has been a breath of fresh air in the manager's office. We are thankful for you, Frank. Please stand up and say hello. Deputy City Manager Bob Bruner and our new Assistant City Manager Chris Wilson are also here with us this evening. Bob, I'm thankful for the hard work you do for our city, and Chris, I'm thankful and looking forward to having you as part of our team. Our City Attorney Lori Grigg Bloom, as you saw, likes to have beer. Oh, I wasn't her in the picture, that's right. Continues to serve as a constant in City Hall with grace, often under fire, and with the knowledge and wisdom that follows 25 plus years in the City Attorney's office. While Lori may be critically acclaimed for her legal expertise, I know a different side of Lori too. The side that gushes when showing me pictures of her grandson, her new grandson, or talking about her wonderful husband and son and daughter. It's again a reminder that titles, job descriptions, perceptions aside, we are all just human, and we all share a need for connection and for family in whatever form that comes for you. So Lori, please stand and say hello. We also have several members of our very dedicated and high-performing city staff here. They always sit in the back. You know, they fill the back seats, it's great. Coincidentally, this is Public Service Recognition Week, a perfect time to honor and applaud our extremely talented and dedicated public servants in city government. So if you are a City of Troy employee, would you please stand so that we may applaud you, the best municipal employees in all of Metro Detroit? Thank you all so much for what you do for our city. You make us shine, and council and I are extremely grateful for it every single day, truly. Thank you. Most of you, if not all of you, know Cindy Stewart. And she's in the middle of my family. I lost you for a second, Cindy. In fact, it's pretty safe to say that in the city of Troy, Cindy, everybody does know your name. So Cindy has worked with 6 of Troy's 11 mayors, if you can believe that. And each one of us has been her favorite, right, Cindy? Yeah. I can't stress enough the value Cindy has brought to our city during her tenure. And she continues working hard for us, even as life and circumstances change. Cindy, we thank you and applaud you for all you do, and I hope you know how many people in this city believe that the city of Troy and Cindy Stewart are synonymous. Thank you, Cindy. We are also very fortunate to have residents throughout this city who are always eager to serve in some capacity. Through mayor and council appointments, our board and committee members serve our city in a quasi-government fashion, and they do it with little to no recognition. So this evening, I'd like to provide you all with a small slice of gratitude and appreciation. If you serve on one of our boards and committees, please stand so that we can applaud you and the important service you provide to the city of Troy. Like it or not, government is a team sport. And we are fortunate to have several of our fellow elected officials here representing Troy in county, state, and federal government. When I call your name, if you've made it, some of you might still be in session in Lansing or rushing back in traffic. When I call your name, please stand and we'll hold your applause until the end. I know Senator Mike Weber is here. I'm not sure if I saw State Rep Sharon McDonnell. I think the House is running late today, which means State Rep Tom Kuhn is also there likely. County Commissioner Penny Lubes I know is here. She was here. Oh, there she is. Commissioner Ann Erickson Gald, are you here? Oh, all right. Robert Wittenberg, our county treasurer, I saw him. Where'd he go? We're dropping like flies. This is great. Well, we'll thank you. We'll thank the two of you who managed to stick around, so thank you so much. I know we also have Michael Tash, Deputy District Director for Congresswoman Haley Stevens' office, Michael Schmid, the Regional Director for Senator Gary Peters, and Spencer Vaughn, the Oakland County Community Engagement Rep. We've got two of our district court administrators, Jennifer Phillips and Brianna Purdy. And I also know that Dr. Rich Machewski, our amazing superintendent of our wonderful Troy School District, is here. So thank you all for being here as well. I'm extremely grateful also to see some fellow mayors out in the audience, proving that our individual cities and townships are just part of one overall community. I'm always grateful to have with us our Clawson Mayor Paula Milan, Mayor Rosalind Grafstein from Madison Heights, Mayor Michael Lesage from Fraser is here. I don't think Mayor Barnett made it from Rochester Hills. It was too far for him. But I see the better Barnett, Chris Barnett, the township supervisor from from Orion is up there. So we thank all of you for coming as well. I've heard Brian Barnett's State of the City events aren't that exciting, so he was afraid that he'd be intimidated by mine. We also, that's not true. His are amazing. I mean, fireworks. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, we won't do that. We're a little more conservative here in Troy. We also have a very special guest with us here tonight, and someone I consider a friend, and someone most of you probably likely have not met. Joining us from our friends and neighbors across the river is Dave Epp, a member of Parliament for Chatham, Kent, and Leamington in Canada. I became acquainted with Dave during my work as the chair of the Great Lakes Fishery Commission. Ironically, we first met in Washington, D.C., where we goofed around in the White House and joked about how his country had once burned it down. It was such a simpler time between the United States and Canada back then. But since then, we've stayed in constant contact, and he was gracious enough to host Bethany and me and other Great Lakes Fishery Commission members on a tour of Parliament Hill in Ottawa last summer. Once again, we found ourselves goofing around, and now I'm realizing that perhaps we shouldn't hang out, Dave. We're bound to get in trouble pretty soon. But in truly all seriousness, I'm honored to have Dave and his lovely wife, Charlene, with us here this evening. Dave, please stand up and say hello so we can see who you are. I urge all of you to take a moment later in the evening to introduce yourself to Dave and to show him how warm and welcoming we actually are here in Michigan. All right, so at this point, if you're new to this, you may be thinking, wow, the mayor has done nothing but introductions so far. And you're absolutely right. Because I stand by the fact that the strength of our city is its people. The people who work for, you know what? County Commissioner Ann Erickson Galt, you made it just in time. So there we go. I'm going to do it. About 3 minutes late, Ann, but we won't count it against you. The strength of the city really is, it's the people. It's the people who work for Troy. It's the people who live in Troy. It's the people who have businesses in Troy. And the relationships that are built, relationships that I've made, relationships that each and all of you have made, are relationships, those matter almost above anything else. So yes, I do take a lot of time for introductions because I believe that if we're not going to recognize the people that matter to us, we can't and won't be successful, not only as a city, but individually. And besides, if you're not introduced, how can we live in a city where everybody knows your name? So, each year, the location of the State of the City address is no accident. I spend a lot of time thinking about where we are as a city, talking to others, and coming up with a location that not only will be interesting to attendees, but also be on message. Here we are at the Troy Historic Village, where history lives. I think that's the slogan. Jen shared with you the history of this magnificent place in her welcome message, but I wanted to take a minute just to speak about the beauty of Troy's history and, of course, preserving the past, even as we look to the future. Behind you, as you know, is the Troy's Town Hall that was opened in 1927. I spent before the speech in there, and I was running around. There's the jail downstairs. It was kind of fun. We did some fun stuff, but it's really beautiful and historical to see something that's almost 100 years old and represents so much of our history. For about 40 years, it is where Troy's government business happened. It was in that building that city commission meetings were held once we became a city, and where our government transitioned from that township to a city. I recently found myself looking at the minutes from our very early days as a city 70 years ago. That's right, you heard it. Our city does turn 70 this June, and we are going to celebrate the city of Troy's birthday on June 14th from 1 to 4 at the Gene Stein Park, so I do hope you'll join us. I also want to take this moment to say Jean Stein would love to be here. She's not been in good health. I've said that a couple times over the years. She's had a rough road this spring, but we all send our prayers and our love to Jean, and I know that if she could be here, she would be right here, and she would be loving every minute of it. But we love you, Jean, if you get to see this, and we hope you feel better soon. But that's why we have a park named after her. We're doing her birthday. And I was thrilled to see Jean in the video in the beginning as well, because she's been such an instrumental part of our city history. It's the 70th birthday. Tara talked about these coasters that you can brand. Make sure you brand one and take one home. They're actually even cooler than just the branding. I learned today, ironically, that this tree was cut from a cottonwood that came from our Stage Nature Center. So the wood that these are on comes from the Stage Nature Center, branded with our 70th year of Troy logo. Please take one. I think they're super cool. It's a good memento. But as I looked back at these initial minutes that just went away, and then clicked through the next several meeting minutes and realized what it takes to actually start a city, I'm reminded how far we have come since 1955, and also how we need to plan for Troy's next 70 years. It's no secret that the Troy of 1955 does not resemble the Troy of 2025. And as much as I love the Troy of the past and today's Troy, we know that we must move into the future. I think most of you know that I write this address primarily on my own. So we'll talk about the future a little bit. But usually the bulk of this writing is done at my favorite Starbucks at Crooks and Corporate. It's not a paid promotion, so don't let them know. I was pleasantly surprised to receive this text from Councilman Harak Chanda on Sunday. Harak is our newest member of council, so we've had the least amount of time to connect. But with this text, I thought, oh my God, Harak gets me. So it's official, Harak. We're now council best friends. So that's awesome. At this time, I'd like to call Harak up to learn a little bit, I'd like to learn a little bit more about Harak from Councilwoman Rebecca Chamberlain-Karenga. Rebecca, please come on up and watch your step.
Good evening. They say that what you remember are not the accolades or the achievements. You remember stories. So I'm going to share a little story. My colleague and friend, Harak Chanda, is someone who puts people first. He values relationships, and he does everything he can to support and stand by others. I experienced this firsthand 4 years ago. Harak was busy getting his son settled as a freshman at the University of Michigan down the road in Ann Arbor. After a long day, and many of you have done this, you've gotten your kids settled, you know, it's a lot of emotion. But after a long day, Harak still made time to come home to Troy and to visit me in my home where I was having a number of community members. He made time to do that. I will never forget this, Harak. Harak truly cares about people and about community. He is what you want in a public servant.
Thank you, Rebecca. That was awesome. Good, it's working. All right, just 2 nights ago, we'll jump right into the fun financial stuff. Just 2 nights ago, we unanimously approved the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget for the city of Troy. Each of us stressing the strengths of our operational budget and also recognizing the capital funding needs. This budget maintains the priorities of City Council, which represent the priorities of our residents, through significant investments in what matters most to our community, preserving public health, safety, and welfare, focusing on core facilities and infrastructure, including major and local streets, and providing world-class quality of life amenities. And of course, the grand majority of our annual operating budget goes toward public safety, which squarely aligns with the priorities of our residents and the business owners alike. Our Troy Police Department continues to be a positive and powerful force within our city and maintains its Michigan law enforcement accreditation through the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police. The Troy PD is a shining example of how a police department should operate, worthy of the respect it receives from our community. The leadership changed this year. With Frank Nastasi being appointed city manager directly from his chief of police role, the appointment of a new police chief became necessary. 2 qualified captains sought the chief role, and after a competitive process, 25-year Troy Police Department veteran Josh Jones was appointed chief of police at the end of 2024. We thank Chief Jones for his continued service to our community and look forward to his leadership of our beloved Troy Police Department. I don't know if the chief is here. Oh, he's there. He's always quiet in the back, too. Chief, if you could wave and say hello and accept applause for you and also for the entire department. He's not like the last chief who was always showboating all the time, right, Frank? Our Troy Fire Department continues under the leadership of Chief Hollinger, who unfortunately couldn't join us tonight. We do have the 2 deputy chiefs here to stand in. But with continued recruitment effort, new volunteers are joining the department at each station. When they get there, they find top-of-the-line equipment and training to ensure the historical success of our fire department continues. With our large volunteer department, I have often mentioned that if you live in the city of Troy, you most likely live near one of our volunteer firefighters. Because of that, our firefighters bring a certain community perspective that cannot be beat. So we applaud their continued dedication and service to our community and thank them all wholeheartedly. EMS continues to be a focus for us this year as we look to consistently improve the services provided. We utilize the private sector for our EMS, many years with Alliance Mobile Health and now with Universal, and are looking to reduce times and increase ambulance availability throughout our city in a restructured deal. We have been studying our EMS for the past couple of years and evaluating how to provide the best possible EMS service for our residents without breaking the bank. We are looking at many options, ranging from our continued use of the private sector to a hybrid model to potentially bringing EMS in-house. We don't know where we will land at this point, but I can assure you that what we do end up doing will be the most effective use of your tax dollars and will provide the best possible care for our residents. I know that the Universal folks are here, so Vince, I saw Vince for sure, but thank you for being here. He's been a longtime partner with Alliance and now with Universal. Thank you for being here, Vince. Your CEO's here too, sorry. Good to see you. At this time, I'd like to call up Councilman Chanda to provide his introduction of Mayor Pro Tem Mark Gunn.
I'm honored to introduce my colleague who brings a keen sense of humor and a keen sense of fashion to an otherwise boring city government. He's the Mayor Pro Tem Mark Gunn. Mark and I are 2 of the newest members of the council. We look similar and bleed maize and blue for the University of Michigan. But just in case anyone mistakes one for each other, let me clear up the confusion. Mark is the one who always looks just like he's stepped out of a GQ photo shoot, in a sharp suit and a flat cap. He shares our passion for the betterment of the city, especially for veterans and first responders, and always ready to get to work. In professional life, Mark is a small business owner and serves as a reserve for the U.S. Coast Guard. My wife and his wife became very good friends in one of the meetings, so I wanted to acknowledge that our families are also getting close together. So thank you, Mark, for serving.
Thank you, Harak. That was well done, well said. As our community continues to evolve, our parks and recreation needs must do the same. And we've been hard at work. We've recently broken ground on a regulation-sized cricket field, the first in the Midwest at Bolin Park, which will open this summer. Bethany loves the cricket. She's excited about that. We've also broken ground just recently on 8 new pickleball courts at Firefighters Park, which will be also opening this summer. No pickleballers here, that's all right. We've just approved building an inclusive playground at Bolin Park, and because of federal funding obtained by Congresswoman Haley Stevens, we're well underway on a massive park upgrade project at Sylvan Gun Lake Park, bringing new playground equipment, a pavilion, and a cardboard sledding hill. These will join the already added bathrooms and better parking to that park and are all consistent with our 5-year Parks and Recreation Plan. Additionally, we've adjusted and increased our hours at the community center to allow for increased court time and usage. We've responded to resident safety concerns about crossing Long Lake Road into J.C. Park and the third phase of our Troy Trail, seeking and obtaining SEMCOG TAP grants for a safe pedestrian crossing from south of Long Lake into J.C. Park and connecting to that trail. This new pedestrian crossing will make it safer and more efficient for hundreds, if not thousands, of residents to go from their neighborhoods right into the park without having to walk all the way down to John R. or Rochester Road to cross, or worse, risk their lives crossing Long Lake right there at the park. This grant funding will also increase pedestrian safety on Square Lake and Livernois roads, adding sidewalks where they were desperately needed. We continue to do important work for our senior population right here in Troy. This year, we opened the refreshed senior dining center at our Troy Community Center, which has truly become our senior center, with spaces to watch television, to play games, to eat, and to socialize. Soon, there will be new senior center signage on Livernois Road, advertising that center for thousands of drivers daily and welcoming our senior population in. It is always important for us to recognize the value of contributions this aging population has provided to our community, whether that's through simply paying their taxes on a regular basis for all of these years, or all of the volunteer and service hours they have provided to make our community what it is today. That can't be forgotten, and it gets lost sometimes. I want you to know that council and I will never, ever leave our seniors behind in this city. And I hope that Bill Rhodes, who's the president of Friends of Troy Seniors, who couldn't be with us here tonight, knows that. And Bill, I know you're not here, but we love you, and we are so thrilled to see your increased optimism and positivity about the changes we've made at the community center for our seniors. Well, two council members who have consistently and vocally pressed for community center service upgrades are Councilman Hamilton and Councilwoman Chamberlain-Kranga. David, why don't you come up and do your introduction to Rebecca?
It's my honor to introduce council member and friend Rebecca Chamberlain-Kranga. Rebecca is an economic anthropologist with a PhD from the London School of Economics. She currently works for the Mott Foundation in Flint, and she also speaks Romanian, French, Croatian, and Russian. I speak English, that's it. In other words, she's really smart and incredibly hardworking. She's mother to her son, William, who's so old now. It's amazing how these kids are growing up, and wife to her husband, Ovi. She grew up in Charlevoix and has a family history of working in local government and has several family members who were or are elected officials. She's taught me a lot about how our government works, how to listen carefully, be compassionate, calm, cool, and collected. Rebecca was first appointed to City Council in February of 2020, and if you remember that, her first full meeting in March of 2020 was when the whole country shut down due to COVID, so she had to hit the ground running. She served as Mayor Pro Tem November 2022 to November 2023, and she is currently serving on the Michigan Municipal League's Board of Trustees and has since 2001. Rebecca always tries to deeply understand and express how our decisions affect Troy residents.
Thank you, David. That was great. The private sector in Troy continues to thrive as well, across all industries, and truly across all industries. A couple of weeks ago, Tara and I did one of our Focus Troy business tours, and were blown away by Paul C. Scott Plumbing. We had a wonderful conversation with the principals and left with a deep appreciation of how being a plumber is not what it used to be, and how technology has dramatically changed the industry. We know that there's a skilled trade deficit, and I was impressed to learn how Paul C. Scott Plumbing is working to build apprenticeships to help solve that problem right here in Troy. I'm honored that Chris Scott is here with us this evening, and I'm extremely thankful for the quality customer service and their people-focused business practices at Paul C. Scott Plumbing. Chris, you here somewhere? There you are. Welcome, Chris. Thank you. Our private sector is a powerhouse in Troy, because we've always believed that government should serve as a partner and not as a barrier to progress. That's why we're proud to be a city where the private sector doesn't just invest, it thrives. From innovative startups to world-class corporations, Troy continues to attract businesses that create jobs, build our economy, and enhance our quality of life. We're committed to maintaining a stable, predictable environment here in Troy City government, where entrepreneurs and established industries alike can grow with confidence, because when the private sector succeeds, our entire community benefits. This mindset and policy are key to what happens next at the old Kmart headquarters. I saw our planning director back there wondering what I'm going to say, Brent, huh? There we go. Some planning commissioners too, probably. No, honestly, the Kmart property, which is likely the most valuable undeveloped piece of land in Oakland County, if not all in Metro Detroit. Last year at this event, I did share the good news that the University of Michigan had purchased a portion of those 40 acres to build a $250 million Michigan medicine facility, providing quality healthcare access to hundreds of thousands of Oakland County residents and spurring the massive economic development of a key gateway to our city. Since last year, we've now seen the Forbes-Frankel Group put in their development plans for the entire site, seeking to modify the existing plan unit development, or PUD. Currently before the Planning Commission, this PUD will likely soon move to City Council, where we will be asked to approve the PUD concept plan so that Michigan Medicine can start building. This is an evolving process, as are the plans, but I do want to show some of the renderings that have been made public at this point. Recognizing these renderings are part of a PUD concept plan and not for site plan approval, I caution each of you that the final development likely will look different than what's on the screen, and that's by design. Should come up. It looks like a gazebo. There we go. All right. Through this process, we've been reminded that the University of Michigan is a constitutional corporation, which means they're not subject to some of our zoning laws or design standards, similar to how our Troy School District operates and builds. Rightly so, this has given some of us pause, and yet we also need to trust the process and recognize that the University of Michigan likely won't provide all of the details we'd like them to, and that has to be okay. We have to look at what the university has done in Ann Arbor and other municipalities, and also remember that our Troy schools have the same power and authority, consistently not letting us down with their buildings. We also have to have some faith and trust in Nate Forbes and Stanley Frankel, two gentlemen who have never done anything but help this city and make it a better and more beautiful place in the end. And to think that either of them would build or allow to be built something that isn't at least as good or better than their prize jewel and ours, the Somerset Collection, right next door, perhaps lacks a little context. Admittedly, not all of you know Nate and Stanley like I do, or some of us do, and I fully respect that. But let me say this, I'd be the first to tell all of you any concerns I had about a developer, as I've done in the past, and I couldn't be more confident in Nate and Stanley, their vision for this property, and their insistence that it be done right and consistent with what makes sense from our city's perspective and from their business perspective. And I do believe that is our role, to provide private sector business the opportunities and tools to thrive without unnecessarily getting in their way, all the while ensuring, of course, a proper balance and what is right for our city. After sitting vacant for nearly 20 years, with no activity on the site other than regular mowing the grass, I look forward to having this PUD come before council and celebrating the shovels in the ground in hopefully the pretty near future. This transformational project, in whatever final form it takes, will be nothing but good for the city, and I truly, truly am excited about it. All that said, I trust that our planning commissioners, many of whom are here this evening, will perform their role in this process with the care and consistency we expect from them, and that my colleagues on council will balance all of the interests that we have to balance as appropriate when it's before us. That consistency and stability is one of Troy's strongest and best assets. At this time, I'd like to have Mayor Pro Tem Gunn come forward to provide his introduction for Councilwoman Brooks.
Good evening. Thank you to the historical village here for hosting this great event. It's an amazing facility, and I'm very thankful for that. I have a feeling by the time I'm done, Mayor Baker will be introducing everybody himself again next year.
That's right. Yeah.
Harak, thank you very much for the very kind introduction. I see you got the short straw. I was handed the speech. Mine was a little bit longer, but they cut it down, so here we go. Good evening, everyone. It is my great honor to introduce a true champion for our city, a woman whose leadership, vision, and tireless dedication has helped shape Troy into the vibrant community we are so proud to call home. Dr. Teresa Brooks has served on our City Council with distinction, always putting the needs of our residents first. With a background in healthcare as a medical doctor, she brings both wisdom and compassion to the council chambers. Dr. Brooks is known for her ability to listen deeply, act decisively, and inspire others to work together for the greater good. Throughout her time in office, she has been a steadfast advocate focused on improving senior services, supporting our library and community spaces, and restoring trust in government. Her commitment to transparency, accountability, you really did shorten it. Civic engagement has strengthened the very foundation of our local government. Beyond her public service, Dr. Brooks is a mentor, community builder, and a voice for those who often go unheard. She leads not for recognition, but out of a deep and abiding love for the people of Troy. Please join me in welcoming our City Councilwoman, a dedicated servant leader and a true friend to the city, Dr. Teresa Brooks.
He would have been going on and on. The state of Teresa Brooks is, oh no. Good job, Mark, thank you. While we sit here at a place that focuses and highlights Troy's past, let's pivot a little bit and talk about Troy's future. Year after year, I've shared how our city remains on a strong financial footing, which is the truth. Our AAA bond rating and our consistent conservative budgeting practices with a healthy unassigned general fund balance for our rainy days and one of the lowest property tax millages in the state of Michigan. So I can comfortably say that our economic health is strong. Our day-to-day operations budget is solid. Year after year, we do consistently bring in more than we spend, and so long as the economy remains stable, that will continue. But last year, I briefly touched on the fact that we are 70 years old. We have aging infrastructure, a greatly reduced capital millage so that our operating millage can stay stable and fund our top priorities and core responsibilities despite the Headley rollbacks, and that it was time to start seriously looking at potentially debt financing so that we could address some of our critical capital needs. By a show of hands, how many of you have heard that we are working to put a bond proposal on the November ballot? All right, I guess it's working. No. You're hearing about it, that's good, that's good. Most of those were city employees, but it's fine. The city of Troy, we know, 70 years old. We may still be the city of tomorrow today, but tonight, I'm telling you, we need to build for tomorrow today. And the most efficient and most conservative way to do that is with a capital bond. It will provide an influx of capital up front, allowing us to tackle big projects that then can come off of our long and getting longer deferred maintenance capital plan and saving us millions of dollars in the process. This isn't a new idea. This is something we've been discussing for many, many years. And I'm excited that we are having the honest and real discussions in anticipation of putting a bond proposal on the November ballot. Our city staff has taken a deep dive into our capital needs and over a series of meetings from January through April presented us with the most pressing capital projects. Many projects that we have seen get pushed back year after year in budgets that properly funded the operation of our city, but could only afford to minimally address critical capital spending. At this point, there is only so far you can kick a can down the road. While we're still working out the details, let me tell you what we've collectively done, which is a ton of work to get to this point. Our city staff, as I said, has been peppered with questions from council, residents, and frankly from each other, as all of us work together in anticipation of proving bond language for the ballot. There has been substantial community engagement done, whether through surveys, Troy Talks with our city manager and department heads, conversation around dining room tables, Rotary Club presentations, social media posts, or just the good old-fashioned one-on-one conversations all throughout our city. We know what our city needs, and we also know what our residents want. We also have recognized over the past few months that for many, there is an increased concern about the economy and how things are playing out at the national and global level. We've responded in kind, reducing the amount of projects to include in a bond proposal, which will require less of an investment from each taxpayer. The bond proposal we are working on would provide the necessary capital to address 4 major pillars, all of which must be addressed to keep our city safe, competitive, and to provide residents with the amenities they're expecting. It shouldn't surprise you to hear these 4 pillars: public safety, parks and recreation, streets, and yes, a new Troy Public Library. Again, we haven't approved any ballot language yet, but seem to be narrowing down to a bond proposal that would have minimal impact on your pocketbook, but a maximum impact on our city's capital budget. If approved by voters in November, there will be dedicated funds for police body-worn cameras and public safety technology upgrades, fire apparatus replacement, it's a fancy way of saying new fire trucks, a sizable and substantial investment in poor and failing roads, park improvements, additional trails and pathways, more pickleball courts, and community center upgrades. And of course, the replacement of a 55-year-old library that has been deemed obsolete by modern library standards. Over this process, I've learned it's really easy for a resident to know when you need to replace a road, but it's not as easy for a resident to know when you need to replace a library. To help that process, our library team, led by Emily Dumas, who I know is here. I saw you back there, Emily. Thank you. Good to see you. We love Emily. She's doing a great job. Our library team has been giving tours of the existing building, but not just the public-facing areas that you're all used to seeing. All of it, the good, the bad, and truly the ugly. That commitment to transparency will continue as our library team is offering tours to anyone who signs up. There's a QR code. I realized if everyone did that right now, you wouldn't pay attention to the rest of the speech because you'd be scheduling a view, and plus it's going to jam the system. So in hindsight, this was not a great idea, but that QR code is on library pamphlets, and you, of course, go to the library website. It'll allow you to schedule a library tour, and I can't tell you how many people have seen the need for a new library much clearer after they took this tour. So I thank Emily and your entire team. I know Philip's here too, for those tours that you're giving. I know that's above and beyond your day job, but thank you, because they really are making the difference, and we appreciate it very much. A year ago, I stood behind this podium in a very, very hot fire and police training center. Now it's getting cold. I can't do the weather right, but I made the case that we have an A+ library services in a D+ building. And I said it was time we had a new library building that matched the award-winning service our TPL team provides. And here we are a year later, and we are on a path necessary to achieve that goal. Just a week and a half ago, we had a joint Troy City Council and Planning Commission meeting where we took the first look at a potential new Troy Public Library as it was unveiled. Again, I will caution everyone that this is a preliminary design. It will be subject to a cost analysis that is coming out in about a month, and will be dependent, of course, on the voters of Troy approving a bond proposal this November. But with all those caveats aside, I'm excited to show you what was presented. A little more oohs and ahs, please. Tara, I'm counting on you for some oohs and ahs. There we go. HVM Architects designed this library, but it was not done in a vacuum. They utilized the extensive report and analysis provided by Rethinking Libraries, worked with library and city staff, and synthesized all of the feedback given by library patrons and city residents as part of extensive community engagement projects. You can see the plan is to locate the library, the new library, over by the community center, and it is designed to be a library that meets today's needs, but also one with which our city can grow. This is the library our community deserves, and now we have to see if this is the library our community will pay for. But I love this library. I think it's beautiful. I'm applauding for it myself personally. The first person that stood up last year when I said we should have a new library was Councilman Hamilton. It was the most excited I'd seen David in about 7 years. I'll ask Councilwoman Hoderick to come up now with her introduction of Councilman Hamilton.
It's my privilege to introduce Councilman David Hamilton. David is a lifelong resident of Troy, choosing Troy for his forever home after a brief time away in college. He is especially grateful for how this community wrapped him with support when he was in high school during the difficult time when his dad unexpectedly passed away. This experience fostered in him a fierce desire to give back. And give back he does. And to ensure Troy remains the special place he is known and loved for his amazing wife, Steph, and their 2 little girls. An engineer and naturally inclined to be data focused, data brings meaning to the phrase nerd out, especially during budget times. Sitting next to him, his brain is this whirling dervish of data that he can spew, and sometimes my brain just explodes listening to him. It's pretty phenomenal, actually. I always say the foundational quality a person should possess for public service is a huge heart. David most certainly brings a huge heart to the council table, a truly caring colleague.
I just got to say it. She's coming down the steps. She says, speaking of aging infrastructure, my knees. Like, so, great job, Ellen. That was truly a fitting introduction for our homegrown member of council. So here's the truth. I'm getting a little bit reflective about my years as mayor. It's no secret that I'm term limited, and at most I have 2.5 years left in this role. I get asked a lot, what am I doing next? Which is, I suppose, is the nature of politics today. That conversation will come, but while I may be term limited, I'm most certainly not a lame duck. I know there is so much I can do in this role in the time I do have left, and I will spend every minute and every day working hard for our city, the city that I love very much. I said a minute ago that I'm a bit reflective, and I am. Did you know that the tradition of saying the State of the Union is, and then fill in the blank, by the President of the United States only dates back to President Ford? I thought it went on forever. He started the tradition in 1975 when he said, the state of our union is not good. Very Ford, right? West Michigan, I don't know. In the 50 years, I love West Michigan, just so we're clear. In the 50 years since then, the president has almost always said strong or something positive and uplifting with very limited outliers. I think President Obama said something not as positive in 2009, which was fitting, and it caused a big storm. But as you saw a while ago when Tara was introducing me, I've always said the state of our city is strong. And it is, and it has been during my time as mayor. There's no denying the strength of our city on so many levels. But the political scientist in me wonders if I've done the city a disservice, or rather we have all collectively done a disservice by not more consistently and loudly talking about the capital needs and shortcomings in our annual budgets, by not more frequently demonstrating the critical infrastructure projects that we have to delay each year because we don't have the capital necessary to do the project. I only bring this up because there are and will be people who won't believe that we need to pass a bond. And while part of that will be just a general skepticism in government, part of it will be because we are consistently singing Troy's financial praises. All true, by the way, but not always the full, complete, crystal clear picture. None of what I'm saying right now should sound any alarm bells, and please don't worry. I'm still Troy's biggest cheerleader, and it is very easy to be. But as I do this role longer and longer, I find myself thinking a lot about these things. And maybe I'm alone, but I do find it interesting and worthy of something for all of you, especially on council, to think about as we move into the future. There is one more council introduction left, and so I'm going to ask Councilwoman Brooks to come up and introduce Councilwoman Hoderick.
So glad there's a step there. Thank you, Mark, for the nice introduction. I'm short, too, so I have to move this down. And last but not least, Councilmember Ellen Hoderick. And just like keeping in the theme, I believe everyone does know her name. So, Councilmember Ellen Hoderick is the longest-serving member on the Troy City Council, and her dedication is inspiring. Ellen embodies the spirit of a true public servant, committed, compassionate, and community-minded. When I was first considering a run for City Council, my meeting with Ellen was so encouraging that it sealed the deal for me. I looked forward to serving on council partly because I imagined the enjoyment of working alongside Ellen and building a strong friendship. While council statutes have limited the amount of time we can spend together outside of official duties, our friendship has nonetheless grown deep and meaningful. As a longtime Troy resident who raised her 2 children here, her understanding of the community runs deep. Though now she is now retired and probably should be spending more time with her wonderful husband, Mike, and her adult children and grandchildren, Ellen has chosen to continue giving back through public service. Ellen is a communicator who enjoys sharing her thoughts, and I've been grateful for the chance to listen and learn from her wisdom. Her insights, shaped by years of experience and a heartfelt connection to the city, have brought a unique and invaluable perspective to council. Some of my fondest memories on council are tied to Ellen's guidance and leadership. Ellen Hoderick leaves a lasting mark on Troy and on everyone privileged to serve alongside her. I am grateful for her friendship, mentorship, and the example that she sets as a public servant.
Thank you, Teresa. That was a wonderful introduction of Ellen. This is Councilwoman Ellen Hoderick's last State of the City address as a member of council. She's probably thrilled. Yes, this is Ellen's 12th year in council, as she is term limited. 11 and a half years ago, Ellen was sworn in. And these are her first words as a member of Troy City Council.
I want to acknowledge my husband, Mike, who is here tonight. As many of you know, if you know me, I'm very involved in the community, and the reason I can do what I do is because of Mike. He is very involved in the community through me. Came home tonight, he had dinner ready. He's a tremendous man, and I appreciate him very much and the support he gave. My daughter Lynn is in Alexandria. Actually, she's in Washington, D.C. at class right now, working on a master's degree, and would give her right arm to be here. She very much loves this community and everything she gained from it, and believes strongly in giving back to it, and has tried to help us accomplish that even from afar. My son Greg is working tonight, and he has been very supportive, even as he kind of works through some health issues. What I'm trying to say to you is we're a family that loves this place. We've gotten a lot out of it, and we see it as our responsibility to give back to it. And I think it's appropriate and very fitting that we were installed on Veterans Day here. If folks can serve our country in that way, we can all serve one another here with decorum, civility, discussion, listen to one another, make our decisions, and keep moving on. And I look forward to doing that with you and serving with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council chambers look the same. Ellen's comments about civility and decorum quickly resonated with me. I too have always aimed to serve in that manner. And frankly, I love that she called out Mike, who hates being called out, mentioning that he had dinner on the table for her when she got home from work before heading to council. And since Mike hates being called out, it's a perfect time for me to do so. Hi, Mike. We love Mike Hoderick. Mike, thank you for sharing Ellen with us all of this time, when you'd certainly prefer to spend more time up north or out east with family. Ellen, you and I, and to a certain extent David, have served with a divided and potentially dysfunctional council in the past, much different than what we have now. I want you to know that part of your legacy on Troy City Council is moving past the division and those previous issues. Because today, the 7 of us will not always agree, but we always treat each other with dignity and respect, and a collegiality that is a model for councils throughout Metro Detroit. I hope tonight you have all seen this evening that I used it, well, I hope, sorry about that. I can't believe that you're done this year, Ellen. I just want to say that. I've got 6 more months, so I'm not worried about it, but it's just shocking to me. But I hope that you've all seen in our introductions of the council members this evening, which, by the way, I used an online randomizer to determine which council members would introduce each other. And I truly wasn't worried about who would be randomly selected for each person. It is because we are a team, and we do work together for the good of our community. I said it earlier, we may have differences of opinions and differ in how we view certain issues or topics, but that doesn't prohibit us from maintaining civility and decorum. I genuinely care for each of you. And yes, it may look different with each of you, but make no mistake, each of you make me do this job better. So thank you. And so the 7 of us all deeply love our city. And I hope that for all of you in attendance tonight or watching from home, that is one of the key takeaways from this evening. So, Ellen, thank you for all you've done since 2013 to tirelessly work to make this body a better one. But you still have 6 months left. And let me tell you, these next 6 months are going to be consequential. The blend of our quality public amenities and services and our stellar quality of life, an award-winning Troy School District, and thriving private sector often elevates Troy to a level that gets national recognition. For the past 2 years, Troy was ranked the number 10 best place to live in the country by livability.com, 2 years in a row. And it's just been released that we're now number 7, one of only 2. Bethany likes that too. We're one of only 2 Michigan cities to make the top 100 in the country, and the only one to be in the top 10. And you know what? You feel that in our community. Sure, there are complaints at times. That is absolutely natural and to be expected. But you do have a special feeling when you're in Troy. And there's no denying the feeling of community we really have here. That community where you're not surprised that everybody knows your name, or that community that rallies around you when you're in need, or that community that consistently stands out for positive stories. We live in a city that is filled with nearly 90,000 people, different races, different religions, different voices, yet one community. One community. We've talked about Troy's past tonight, Troy's present, and Troy's future. We've talked about the paradox of being in a strong financial position, but also in serious need of a bond to address critical capital needs. We are here at a place that celebrates Troy's history with buildings and artifacts that helped make Troy what it is today. And it is dependent on all of us to help make Troy what it will be tomorrow. And I have faith in all of you, in all of the people of Troy. I believe in the kindness and the decency of our residents, and the innovation and the community-focused nature of our businesses. I know that together we will move Troy forward, all while celebrating and honoring its past. Folks, as our city turns 70 next month, 70 years old as a city, I say to you, the state of our city is strong, and with an approved bond in November, it will be even stronger. I want to thank you all for coming this evening or from watching from home. It is my honor and privilege to do this. It is getting cold. I can see some people feeling cold. There's some fires around. There's some things. Please make sure you go make one of these and take one if you have it. Help yourself to a drink, a treat, or some food over there at the Niles Barnard House, and walk around the grounds. They're open for all of you to enjoy and appreciate. This is our home. This is our community, everybody. Thank you so much. God bless you all. God bless the city of Troy, and God bless America. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.